Now, where do we begin this story?
Hmm?
Where do we begin?
I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. I'm well, we're gonna flow into it, Grandma.
Okay, you don't have to flow us in.
I'm gonna flow you in. Let's get this right.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, you guys, welcome to. I gotta figure out how we do this. Okay, all the way over. Okay,
Are you all the way over?
I'm all the way. You all the way over too. It's these chairs,
Yeah, it's okay.
but okay. Maybe if I go right here, there we go. But you gotta lean in a little bit there. There we go. Boom. Hey, you guys. So this is a special Gay Like Me Live. So normally, I would have had the flyer and the guest and it's scheduled and ready to go, but this didn't happen this week because my family is in town, especially my grandmother. And I said, hey, well, why don't we really sit down and have a conversation with her? And that's what we're doing today. So I have my sister, Erica, my grandmother. Say hey, Grandma.
Hi.
Oh, shoot. Can y'all hear me? Hold on 1 second. I forgot one thing. Because if I got Grandma, I can't.
Grandma Atkins.
I got to put this mic on a little bit so we can hear my grandma a little better. So I'm going to turn this mic on. I forgot that. Audio and mic. Bam. Okay, there we go. So, I guess you guys know. I guess y'all would have known that. Well, I don't know if I ever. I taught y'all about it, but so my sister is a lesbian, and
Just so hard for you to say.
I know it is, and I'm gay, and my grandmother is 92, 91, and she'll be turning 92 this year, right? In November.
Right. That's correct.
Yeah. So, and the thing about it is that we want to have as much time and spend as much time as we can with our grandmother, and that's why she's here with us today. And but I did a podcast with my grandmother, and we kind of talked about just my journey through life and how I got to where I'm at. And it was a very great podcast, so make sure y'all check that out. But now that we have Erica here, we just wanted to sit down and just have a conversation with my grandmother, get wisdom and some joy from it, and hopefully you guys will get some of it too. So, okay, she has a dog, so she gotta do what she gotta do with her dog. But Grandma,
yes,
how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Yes, I'm glad that you're able to be here with us. And she doesn't. I just put her on the spot. She didn't know we was doing this today. I just said, "Hey, Grandma, we talking at 7:00, so just be ready." So she don't know what's really happening. But remember when we talked last time? We talked and I recorded you talking to us.
Yes.
Okay, and we had a really good conversation. So this is gonna be like this. Basically, is an extension of that conversation.
All right.
Because that clip I played, which I played a clip for her that they took out of the podcast where she just talked about me being her grandson, and I've treated her well and she's treated me well, and it's all just about love and just being on the same page. And a lot of people were touched by that, Grandma, to hear that coming from you.
Is that right?
Yeah. Because for you guys don't know, my grandmother is an avid 7-day Adventist. So that is the Old Testament of gospel. They don't really get into the New Testament of things. So to be able to hear her have such an open and willing thought process was a great thing, to have. Yes. So Erica.
I agree. I mean, she takes it way better than our mother does. And she's very loving and patient with us. Although, in our younger years, it was a little tough. But I think now she just realizes that we're her grandchildren and we care so much about her. We'll care for her, and we're gonna take care of her the best way we know how.
Now I know you said when I was growing up, you know, I was dancing around and playing around, all that good stuff. But what do you remember about Erica growing up?
Erica's growing up was
Was it tougher?
I won't say it was tougher, Erica. You wanted certain things and you sort of demanded certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so she's been a bully all her life, huh, Grandma?
I'm not a bully.
She's like her mother.
Mm-hmm.
Things that she saw and she wanted, she went for them.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't one to sit back. She was one to step forward.
Mm-hmm.
And she always did step forward. She's still stepping forward. And the achievements that she has made are beautiful. And I never thought I would be the one to live to see these things happen in your life or Erica's life.
Mm-hmm.
But they have been wonderful. And you all have included me right along with the things that you are enjoying yourself right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And today you wanted me to show you how to make pies. And so we spent most of the day doing that,
Mm-hmm.
which was really nice.
Yeah.
And you took me out to eat breakfast this morning,
Mm-hmm.
and that was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. And you tasted a little bit of mine, I tasted a little bit of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Erica was not with us. She was doing something else.
Yeah.
And
So, question for you, Grandma. And I mean, this is I don't think it's a hard question, but it's a deeper question, right? So, you know, out of your grandchildren, you know, me and Erica chose a different path.
wow.
You know, we'll say it's a different path. Out of our two grandchildren, out of your grandchildren. So for you, how when you found out that Erica was a lesbian and I was gay, like growing up, how did you feel in the beginning about that?
I wasn't happy about it,
Mm-hmm.
but I tried to understand what was happening in your life
Mm-hmm.
at that time. And you and I have been very close.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been able to come to you and ask you questions.
Mm-hmm.
And you always answered those questions
Mm-hmm.
for me. And that made it, the walk a little easier
Mm-hmm.
because we talked all along.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still seeing things. But you've always been there for me. And that helps any mother, grandmother, or whoever has to deal with things that are unpleasant to them.
Mm-hmm.
And naturally, when you have a grandson, and he's the number one grandson,
Mm-hmm.
you look forward to certain things from that grandson.
Mm-hmm.
The same as with the granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
When your mother found out that she had a daughter,
Mm-hmm.
she was thrilled and happy,
Yeah.
overjoyed,
Mm-hmm.
because this was the granddaughter that she had longed for a long time. And now here you are,
Mm-hmm.
and you come with a different story that she don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I could call anyone that could tell the story and say, yeah, I understand this and I understand that,
Mm-hmm.
because you really, really don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to learn how to accept. I had to learn how to accept you, Ricky,
Mm-hmm.
and to endear you into my heart, even though you weren't what I wanted you
Mm-hmm.
to be. But you're still very dear to me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And when I speak to you or about you, That's the way I speak about you,
Mm-hmm.
letting others know that you are my grandson and we have to accept you. And today, I'm glad that we can sit here and talk and know each other. The
Yeah.
same as with my granddaughter.
Yeah.
Anytime she comes to Toledo, we embrace each other. She looks forward to seeing me. I always look forward to seeing and enjoying her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We go out to breakfast or lunch or whatever the meal may be,
Mm-hmm.
and we always enjoy that moment.
Yeah.
And whether she's with her friends or not with her friends, she enjoys her grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pleased to be able to say
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy about that part of our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it will continue. And I know that she'll always be there for me.
Yeah.
And when you get 91, you don't look forward to some parts of the life that you have to endure, but it's here. And my granddaughter is here with me and for me.
Mm-hmm.
And her mother is the same. In fact, all of my children love and care for me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a biggie right there.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you gave me this opportunity to speak and let the whole world know
Yeah.
that this is a precious moment for us.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll keep on keeping on as long as we.
Yes. You know, I find that my grandma still asks me questions sometimes I don't understand. I mean, I don't know how to answer. We was watching, she loves Andy Griffith. So I was watching Andy Griffith last night with my grandmother.
Yeah.
And there was an episode where Opie, is that the boy's name?
I guess. Still the boy?
The little boy's name, Opie.
I think
grandma?
so. Yeah.
Okay. So Opie had to ask the girl on a date. And so grandma asked, she said, well, did you ask some girl on a date? And I was like, no. Then she's like, well, you ain't want to ask no girl on a date? And I'm like, no. You know, she, well, why you ain't want? So then she kept digging. I'm like, I don't even know how to answer this question. But
I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say. But Erica, like my grandmother said, Erica has been the more outspoken, she was the first one to say what it was and how it was and what was going to be, right? So for you, Erica, what that experience of coming out, which I hate, but coming out and just like, what made you just want to just live in your truth and tell your truth without thinking about? Did you think about the consequences of it, or you?
Part of it because I saw how you move. And I was like, I don't want to move like that.
You saw my struggle.
Yeah, I saw the struggle, and I was like, I don't want to move like that. I really just want to. If you like it or you don't like it, it's not coming from a place of I'm doing this to make you upset or to disappoint you. This is just who I am. So let me tell you now, so then we can work on getting to where we need to be down the line. We're still working on it. 20 years later, we're still working on it. But I mean, if I would have played the game and hid all that, it just would have been too much to focus on. I had to focus on what I want to do with life and all these other things. So this is a small part of who I am.
Grandma, for you, like Erica was saying, it's still something that my mother struggles with. And, we don't really talk about it. We don't really talk about it that much with her. Like I haven't had this type of conversation with my mom. She doesn't really like to. But for you you're older, and like I said, you have more of a religious standpoint in it all. But yet you're here at 91 and you want to have a conversation and you don't mind having a conversation. Like why is that important to you?
Important to me is life. And when Christ came, he showed us the way of love. And love is important. from heaven to earth.
Mm-hmm.
And every day when I look at you all, I see love.
Mm-hmm.
I see love coming from you,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope that I'm showing you love along the way.
Yeah.
You are.
And those things are more important to me,
Mm-hmm.
to love you and to show you that I do love you and that God made you as well as me,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and that there's nothing we can do about it. Now, He gave us a mind to think for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
to function for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not please you and it may not please me, but we're all here and we're here for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And that purpose is to serve the Master
Yeah.
and to show each other that we care.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I may not understand you, I still care about that.
Yeah.
I care that you don't understand what I'm going through
Mm-hmm.
or how I'm portrayed. But there's someone that does care.
Yeah.
And we all have that same opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it may not be the upcoming thing in this world, but it is a part of me, it's a part of you,
Mm-hmm.
and we keep on sharing. And you both are very good sharers. You'll share what you have
Yeah.
with others. And you love little children, and you try to teach them the good things of life.
Mm-hmm.
And they may not be 100%, but they're the best that you have right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And as you grow, you will continue to achieve and to grow
Mm-hmm.
and to let others know that you are a human being and that you care about your mother, you care about your father, and you care about all those that have an interest in you.
Mm-hmm.
And that you're going to do the very best that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And Erica, as I have watched you grow, I've always watched you achieve,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't fall back and take no for an answer.
Yeah.
You say, I'm going to step, if anyone has done this, I'm going to take my foot and step forward
Yeah.
and do the very, very best that I can do.
Thank you, Grandma.
That's what I've seen come out of you.
Yeah.
If an obstacle gets in the way and you wonder, now how am I going to bypass this? You go right into it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't back down. You don't crumble and cry, but you just go right into it. And you think that you can do it. And you, most of the time, you come out
Pretty good.
achieving. You come out really well.
Oh, thank you, Grandma.
And I'm so thankful that I have this opportunity to let you know
Yeah.
how you are perceived
Yeah.
and how you're perceived by others
Yeah.
that speak of you.
I will say, Grandma, a lot of my friends don't have their grandparents, and I just think it's just a blessing to even still be here. So I don't ever want to focus on the negative of a day. I always want to focus on the positive of a day. We're gonna have bumps and bruises, and we're gonna go through it. But I want to focus on the good things.
And that's a blessing.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful that a granddaughter
Mm-hmm.
and a grandmother can sit down and express themselves at this time.
Yeah.
And a grandson, I'm proud of my grandson.
Thank you, Grandma. Now, what I would say with that, what I also appreciate about you, Grandmother, is that even though you don't understand it, you're still trying to understand. She always asks, she's like, "Well, did you find somebody yet?
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy? Are you dating? I remember when Good Hair first came out, and they never seen me in my full Derek J attire, and we went to the movies together. It's Were you there when we went to the movies?
I didn't go to that. Okay.
Well, we went to the movie together in Toledo, and they got to see my grandma got to see me in my full regalia for the first time, and then she would just ask for a long time afterwards. She's like, "Well, where are your heels at? Well, why you didn't wear that? Why you not wearing that here?" And I'm like, "Grandma, that is for TV and for show." But but to be able to have you be willing to be a part of my world, and what my world consisted of, was always an amazing thing for me, and I'm appreciative of it. Like I said, growing up. Even though, well, I know you knew about me. Did you know something was going to be a little bit different about Erica growing up?
No.
You didn't know?
No.
I was a lady.
You was a what?
I was a lady.
Thank you, Marlon. So you know nothing about Erica growing up.
But I saw you growing up.
You saw my growing up, Grandma. And within that, but I want to say, like we talked before, with my growing up, I mean, y'all never ostracized me. I never was abused. I never had a bad childhood experience. Not out of the normal bad childhood experience. It's some things I consider was bad, but it was just like discipline. But I never had like anything abusive because of anything. And I think that even though we knew what was happening when I was growing up, sexuality never was a thing. It just kind of like you still just treated me. And it's sad to say you treat me as a person because we all should be treated as a person. But that's what you guys did. Now, was that just your way of upbringing, or were you intentionally making sure?
That was my upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was a very laid back person, and she didn't talk about certain things, and we didn't question her about certain things. We just accepted the way life was for us, and that was her giving us lots of love, lots of attention. She always saw that we had clothing. My father saw that we had food on the table, and that the care was given to each child. And we appreciated those things from him and from my mother. And therefore, we were not intimidated by all these things that were going around us. And a lot of things my mother kept from us because she didn't want us to be a part of that kind of life. And this has helped me to grow, and this has helped me to be who I am. And to continue to be who I am. And tell everyone, God created all of us. And he created us for a purpose. And we have to listen to those concepts that God has given us because he's put certain things within you to make you know who you are. And that's how you are doing so well even now. If it's a sinful thing that you carry on your shoulder, you know that there's a God somewhere, and that he cares about you as well as he do the rest of the family. And that's why the family has treated you the way that you have been treated, is because of the life that my mother lived through Rose Holiday.
I'm about to put them in the oven. We made some rolls, so she shook the rolls when we checked out rolls.
So your advice to, if you say like to parents and grandparents out there, because I know between myself and my brother, we hear a lot of stories where someone comes out and the parent kicks them out or they disown them. So your advice would be to them to just lead with love and worry about everything else later.
Yeah. Love is the most important. It's the key word. It's the key word in my life, your life, and the world's life. And all the bickering and stuff that's going on even now,
Mhm.
if we would just love each other
Yeah.
and accept that love
Yeah.
and spread that love,
Yeah.
it would be a whole lot better
Yeah.
for all of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Even these youngsters that's running around fighting and the guns and all the things that are happening in the world today would quiet down if we would love each other.
That's
Mhm.
true.
I can see some love in you, even though you may not walk the walk that I want you to walk,
Mm-hmm.
but I still see Erica and I see what she's giving out as a person.
Yeah.
I see my grandson, Derek, and the things that he has given out and that he continues to give out. And some of it he got from when he was training to become a beautician.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it from the man that gave him his training,
Yeah.
which was Fez.
Yeah.
He was very kind and very gentle and
Mhm.
always treated my grandson with the highest respect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Derek appreciates that and lives from some of that today.
You about to cry? God.
Be
God.
quiet.
He's
You
such
know-
a wimp. He's gonna cry. But that's the reason why
Oh.
I never wanted to be like argumentative about it, like about who I am and stuff, because my life could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
So we could have, me and Rick could have been in bad spaces, but you guys have always supported us in every endeavor that we have had in life.
I never had my mother to ask me any questions about your lives or the way you were going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She never did. And that was a blessing
Mhm.
Yeah.
because of many parents would have been punching you in the side of the head or
Yeah.
Mhm.
something
Yeah.
and saying, what did you do?
Yeah.
Why did they go this route? But I never had that.
Mhm.
And so I'm thankful.
Yeah.
So 91 years of living. I know I asked you this before, but how long does rolls stay in, Grandma?
The rolls,
How long they stay in the oven?
maybe about an hour.
Can we go cook it for an hour?
It's possible.
The rolls?
You got to
Maybe
watch
like
them.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
You got to watch the rolls and see how they're browning.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
When they get a certain way, you want to put some margarine.
Some more top of it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, we cooking. Sorry. So 91 years living. I know I asked you before, but did you experience any gay people growing up?
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. I did experience one person,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't have a real close encounter with that person
Mm-hmm.
enough to ask him questions or to see where he was coming from or how come.
Mm-hmm.
I never was in that position.
Mm-hmm.
But he seemed a very nice gentleman,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he's deceased now.
Mm-hmm.
But he never gave me any problems
Mm-hmm.
or gave me any reason to question him. And I'm just thankful to have had the opportunity to live through the things that I have lived through
Mm-hmm.
and to still have sound mind
Mm-hmm.
and have each one of my children to be of sound mind and good judgment. And all these things means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I got a question, Grandma. And you said we're gonna go a little bit off topic. You said all the things that you've been through, like with everything going on, Black people really rising up and going against police. You were born in 1928, and I never really heard you talk about, growing up as a child. Because when you grew up, it was segregated, correct?
Right.
And then you had to go to a schoolhouse or
School.
a schoolhouse. And when did you get out of school? Like when did you stop going to school?
Let's see. The year.
Did you say fourth grade? Was it you stopped?
No.
8th grade. So you stopped going to school in the 8th grade because you had to go out and work, correct?
It was part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't just something mandatory.
Yeah.
But it was necessary.
Yeah. So you had to get out there and work. And then like now a lot of people are celebrating Juneteenth. We never really heard you or mama talk about Juneteenth. You know what Juneteenth is, right?
No.
Really?
I don't even know what it is.
So Juneteenth is when the slaves were freed. It was actually 2 years before? The Emancipation Proclamation was signed 2 years before, and then the last slaves were freed June 19th. I can't think of the year, but
I think 1867.
1867. So now we are starting to celebrate Juneteenth instead of celebrate July 4th. So back when you were in school, they didn't teach you about any of that type of stuff.
No.
Were your parents slaves?
No.
Okay.
I never heard my mother refer to herself as a slave or ever serving as a slave.
Okay.
And I never heard my grandmother.
And you guys were always up north, right?
Yes, all of my growing up was
You were up north. Okay.
And we talked about it in the car too when we were driving over.
Mhm.
I asked Grandma about when she was in school. School was segregated when you were still in school?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you, yes, it was.
Yeah, and then you went through. You went through desegregation and everything, and all that. Were you up north then, or were you down south when that was happening?
I was here, right here in the north. I was born in Toledo and remained in Toledo. Throughout my growing up and learning years.
But yeah.
And then you think about the young lady Ruby Bridges, who went into the segregated schools. She's always going with the picture where they are the guards are around her. She is mama's age, so it's like we're only one generation really removed from segregation. So how do you feel about like everything that's going on? Do you think it's a good thing that Black people are rising up finally?
Well, with me being of the mindset that there's no good time for anyone to rise up against another person. It would have been a good thing if anybody could have sat down and said, come on, we're going to talk this over. We're going to see where we are. We're going to see what we're doing and why we're doing it. That would have been the better part.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen that way. And that's because we have all types of people here on earth. And they have all different types of mindsets. And so we have to go through this because God does not force you or me or anyone to do things that we don't feel that is for me or for you.
Did you experience like racism? Like
there was some racism back in my day. Yes, lots of it. But to just say physically, for someone to walk up to me and slap me in the face, or to push me in front of a car, or to do some mean thing to me, I never had that to happen to me or any of my siblings that I know of.
Okay.
But sure, there was lots of racism.
It's
still racism that I don't understand and don't want to understand it. I just want to reach out and to touch somebody and to say, we live in this world. You didn't make yourself. I didn't make myself. But here we stand. Now, what are we going to do with this business that we're going through right now?
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense. And it doesn't make sense to our children because we even see little children, 4 and 5 years old, that don't understand what is going on, but they're participating in it because it looks good, it looks glamorous to them. And so that's give us a start somewhere
Mhm.
to say, no, this is not the life that I want to live.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. I want to say thank you to Dana and thank you to Marlon. Marlon sent over a little something to get you some flowers, Grandma.
Oh, thank
Mm-hmm.
you, Marvin,
Marlon.
Myron, for your kindness. And grandmother,
I'll
appreciate it.
check the rules.
Mm-hmm. So, Grandma, so what? We're not gonna make this long because but what if they're not ready yet? What advice would you just give young people today?
The advice that I would give young people today is, I know that everyone talks about this, but your education is very, very important. And what you give yourself first is a good education.
Mm-hmm.
When you learn how to read and to write and to count and to do the things that's going to be meaningful to you
Mm-hmm.
in this life is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be my advice, is to get your education
Mhm.
and to help the one that's coming behind you to gain some education
Mm-hmm.
and to uh, advance themselves in this world right now, today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm praying and hoping, that each young people will stop being foolish and stop knocking education
Mm-hmm.
and knocking the person that's trying to do better,
Mhm.
because it's very important to each of us. It's important to me at 91. It's important to you all
Mhm.
at your ages and your parents. And the things that you learn and gain when you pass it on to your mother and father is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
And we all appreciate. We should if we don't. I know I appreciate my children,
Mhm.
and I appreciate what they have done and what they continue to do.
Mhm.
And what they don't understand, I try to help them to understand better.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But we all have a place in this life in a place to pay or to show someone what can be done with just a little bit of compassion and love. And I'm hoping and praying that from this session that you have here, Derek,
Mm-hmm.
that someone will hear and gain
They've laid off firecrackers, child.
and gain something from what is going on,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not a good time.
Mhm.
It hasn't been a good time. And I never thought I would be one to live to see such a time.
Mhm.
But I can say that I am blessed
Yes, you are.
Mm-hmm.
because I have some grandchildren and great grandchildren. And I'm watching them as they grow up in this life.
Mhm.
And I'm praying for each one of you
Mm-hmm.
that you'll find a little bit of God somewhere as you walk.
Mm-hmm.
And that it will turn you around and make you stronger and make you a better person.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And my prayer is for you to reach out and touch somebody's hand
Mhm.
and say a prayer that God will bless and keep you.
Mm-hmm. And one more question for you, Grandma. What advice would you give a person that that has someone in their family that may not agree with their life, their life choices? Well, she said it already.
Yeah.
Well, no, she said about love, but I just want to make sure we just
Oh,
have
okay.
it clear.
Okay.
No, I know she said, but what if I mean just I just want to make sure we have it clear,
Okay.
in the conversation. But what advice would you give that person?
You can't give out too much love. You can't say too much about love.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't force anyone to love anyone, but you pray and ask God to show you a way to show someone that there is higher power. And that higher power is in the love that they give out to others.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my prayer. I try every day when I get up in the morning. I say, Lord, what do you have me to do today? What do you need me to do this day? And help me to do it. And that's what I pray for you all, that you all will keep that circle going so that someone will see and know that you have the power to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
And just reaching out as you have done and as you continue to do, to reach out to someone and to help them to know
Mm-hmm.
that this little thing, it may be a little doll that a child has never had, and you saw it in the store, you picked it up, you said, I'm going to give this to someone.
Mm-hmm.
And you take that little doll and you give it to that child, and they see a difference right then and there
Mm-hmm.
because you made a difference in their life.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do as individuals. Keep on keeping on
Yeah.
to help someone along the way.
Mm-hmm. Grandma, I just want to say thank you for taking time to talk to us. You know,
It's my pleasure,
yeah.
and I'm glad that I could do it. And I'm praying and hoping that someone will hear and know that this program was geared for their learning and their inspiration, and to help someone else to see and to know.
Yeah, so this is why I didn't see a lot of promotion for this week, because this was just a impromptu. I know they shoot my grandma. I knew they were coming in town, and I knew that I wanted to have a conversation with her. So why not have a conversation with her with you guys? That's what I want to do. But next week we will have our guests here next week and do it like I've normally been doing it. But I really just want to kind of share this time with you guys, with my grandmother and my sister. Yeah, that's it.
Well, before we go, just if you guys are out here listening, and just know to lead with love. Everything you do, lead with love, because there are some bad things that happen in my life, my brother's life, but we've always been blessed. We've never failed too far to where we can't get up. So like Grandma said, always lead with love, and everything else will be okay.
Right. They said, can you say a prayer for him, Grandma?
You want to say a prayer?
I can say a prayer.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Grandma.
Kind Father in heaven, it is our privilege to come before your throne of grace and love and mercy. And we are so thankful for this privilege and this time. And we pray that this program will be an inspiration to somebody somewhere. And we thank you for what you have done. We thank you for what you are doing. And we thank you for what you continue to do. Now we ask your blessings to rest upon each family member, wherever they may be. We pray for your people all around the world. And we thank you, Lord, for giving us this opportunity to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Go with us now and save us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. So thank you guys for sitting with us. And I will see you guys next week with Gay Knock Me Live.
Who asked for prayer?
Right here. Yeah, so it was a comment in there, Grandma.